Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Kat, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a challenge weekly reading vlog. So I'm going to take this week and see if we can accomplish reading 300 pages a day. I think I very much can. Based on my monthly stats, I do read over 300 a day on average, but I think that is more based on I have days where I read crazy amounts and then many days where I like barely touch a book, but it's just like those days that I'm really focused on reading. I read so much that it kind of like balances out. So we're going to see this week if we can actually sit down every day and read 300 pages of a book and see if we can get through quite a bit of my April TBR doing that. So I might be focusing more on easier books to read, like a little more romance, a little more fantasy romance, thrillers, just things that potentially won't be as hard for me to sit down and focus on. Because if I'm reading this is done, but like reading 300 pages a day at this is a little bit different than reading 300 pages of like a very chill romance. So that might be more of the focus this week. We'll see how it goes. And I don't even know where I want to start. I have so many books that I potentially could be interested in, but I don't know what one's calling my name. So we're just going to peruse the TBR, I guess. Going to peruse Goodreads and Libby and KU and see what's calling to me. And then we're going to pick something up and get started on this. So I will come back when I have a choice. Hello. So it's Monday. I filmed that intro yesterday and then didn't update anything afterwards. So let's quickly talk now about what I did read yesterday, and then we are going to get into tonight. So it's just about 6 p.m. now. I have not read anything today because I just got home from the office. So basically we have some updates from yesterday. I don't even think I hit my 300 pages. I don't know for sure. Whatever we did not hit, we will be aiming to do tonight, which I'm hoping we are close at least. So it won't be adding like too many pages on, but let's quickly calculate this. So first off, also because I am a mess, like we have like 3 different books that I was reading yesterday because I cannot stay focused on anything. So first off, I started on The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni, and this one is the sequel to The Prison Healer, which I recently read and really enjoyed, and then was unbelievably happy to realize that these were on Kindle Unlimited because the library holds were ridiculous. So immediately wanted to get into this one, and also first one left off on such a crazy cliffhanger that like really needed to get to it. And also knowing that this is a YA book, figured it would be a little bit easier to read and something that could be a bit quicker to get in. So I read 90 pages of that. Really enjoying it so far. The first book was in this like death prison camp, and we're following a main character who's a teenage girl who's basically the healer of this prison. She was like captured when she was a child with her father because he was accused of basically associating with a potential rebel, and that was enough to send him to death in prison. And she was caught up with him and brought along, and then she basically grew up in this prison and spent her whole life as healer. And then when the queen of the rebels comes in and is dying on her deathbed, but also sentenced to go through this trials where basically you go through 4 trials by elements, and if you are seen to survive them, you're basically considered innocent. So when she sees this rebel, who's I guess just an older woman on her deathbed, she decides to stand in as her champion in these games, just because her like professional ethics as a healer, she like cannot just stand by watching somebody potentially die, and we're following her as she goes through them. In this book, she is in a new location. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. So 90 pages there. Then I started Deadly Dreams by KJ Sutton. I'm only 31 pages into this one, so not very far at all, but did start at book 3 in the Fortune is Sworn series, and then together that is 121 pages. Cool. where the majority of my pages came. The Dark Forest by 16 Liu. This is book 2 and I think the series is called The Remembrance of Earth's Past, but this is a sequel to The Three-Body Problem. And that is a sci-fi book that I deeply loved. And I've been really, really excited to get to this one. So I read 164 pages of this, which crazy that I got that far into it yesterday. But this one, super fun. We're just following humanity as they have a threat of an alien civilization coming in. And right now, they've basically been told that within the next 400 years, this alien civilization is going to come to Earth. And they've decided they're going to annihilate the humans or enslave them or something. And we're now following humanity as they're trying to come up with all of these ideas of ways that they could counter this and save humanity. Really, really, really enjoying this. But yeah, 164 pages of that, which does bring our total for yesterday to 285. Not that bad, could have been a bit better. Oh well. And basically that means we have 315 pages to do today. Still a fair amount, quite a bit. So probably we'll be focusing on faster reads tonight because like I said, it's 6 now. I'm gonna go work out and then shower and everything. So that's not gonna leave me with a crazy amount of time to really get through these pages tonight. I do want to be ideally in bed by 10 as usual. So we have quite a bit to focus on. And I don't know if I'll realistically be able to hit that tonight, but we will try. We will give it a very solid effort. And yeah, knowing that I have multiple books on the go kind of helps me, to be very honest, because it just gives me a lot of options of things to potentially look at, which sometimes I need. So yeah, that was a quick update, just very, very quick. I'm gonna go work out now and then dive into reading. Okay, today I'm actually going to finish my pages. Yesterday did terrible, but in my defense, my husband and I decided to watch a movie instead. And yeah, decided to just hang out with him instead of reading. We watched Craven, which was so bad, so intensely bad, but still enjoyable mainly because Aaron Taylor Johnson is pretty hot, but terrible movie. The acting was so ridiculously bad in this one and the plot was like non-existent. But that being said, I read how many pages? I read 108 pages yesterday. So we still have, that means 192 from yesterday. Plus another 15 still from Sunday that need to be carried over. So we have a lot of reading to be done. It's 5 right now. And yeah, again, like just checking in after work is done. And now we are finally diving into reading for tonight. Tonight, I am devoted. I am really that I am going to actually get through what I'm supposed to be reading because I'm feeling very, very motivated to do it. And I'm also low-key, don't really have much else to do. I got up and worked out at 5 a.m. today, which was crazy. And now I feel great. Took a nap at lunch. And yeah, that was great. Now I'm feeling fantastic and just ready to do nothing but read. So we have how much? 300 plus 192 plus 15. Is it 192? Okay, that's embarrassing. I like fully have a math degree and I just can't do simple math in my head anymore. This has been really bad when I'm lifting lately because I can't, like, I mess up the weight calculations every single time that I'm adding like plates onto my bar. And I like mess up so badly. And I'm like, why is this so much heavier than, why is it not moving as easy as it should be? It's because I calculated the numbers terribly wrong. But we have, what was that again? 507 pages to do. So I'm just going to dive in right now. I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to aim to finish Gilded Cage right now. I think I still have about 200 pages. Those are the only pages that I read yesterday was Gilded Cage. Not going to say too much about that. I'll come back in later and give more updates on that. But I'm going to try to finish that right now. I think I have 200 pages left of it. It's a quick read. It's not taking too much brain power. So you know what? Like, let's really focus in on this one and get those pages done. And then we will choose something else maybe to get into. Continue on in one of the other books I'm reading. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so very quick update. I don't know. It's 6:30. I just finished dinner. We're really gonna need to hustle for the next little bit because we're not doing so hot. I've read 120 pages, so there's that. But again, like still almost 400 to go, something like that. My math is really bad, and oh hi, my dog is like being such a little sassy guy right now. My math is really bad, which is really embarrassing. Like I said, I have a math degree. I just can't do basic math. But yeah, I have like 400-ish pages to go. We have to hustle. I'm also very tired. I waited too long to have another coffee, and like I really don't want to have one this close to 7. So we're gonna see what we can do. And I have a feeling I'm gonna want to be in bed very early. Maybe I can read in bed. Maybe that will motivate me. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Okay, I hit my pages today. I do not want to update and talk too much about it because I am so ready for bed. But hit my pages and I will tell you tomorrow about what I read. Hi, I just got home from brunch and let's quickly talk about everything I read yesterday. Let's talk about all the pages I did and all of the breakdown of how I hit these. And then, I don't know, like start jumping into today, I guess. So first off, I went wild and I was supposed to read 507 yesterday. Guess who read 514? So we really went crazy over here. But we did great progress also. Like I was just really feeling it. Really like was into the books I was reading and it just felt very easy yesterday. Was exhausted by the end of the night, but you know what? Like we did great. So first off, I finished The Gilded Cage and I did 267 pages here. So that ended up being a really fun book. I'm really enjoying this trilogy, the Blood Trader trilogy, and not Blood Trader, the Prison Healer trilogy. And I'm just really having a great time reading this one. It's an interesting world, interesting magic. I really like this whole, like there's a whole fight of these rebellion or rebels who are fighting against this ruling monarch and all of these things. Really enjoying it. And in this one, we're really following like our main character as she got out of this prison that she had been in the first book and started to like explore the world more and also learn a lot more about her family and about her magic and all of these things. Really enjoyed that one. I'm giving that one 4 stars. Just honestly had a great time. And then from there went into book 3 in the trilogy, The Blood Trader, which first off, have to say, I am very impressed with myself for actually like going and jumping into series and just like continuing them on, because I do not do that. I do not continue on in series like quickly together. So this feels nice. But I did 132 pages in The Blood Trader. I will say this one, I'm not feeling as like into this one as I was with the previous books. And I don't really know why. I don't know. I think this one so far in the beginning, it just like has not been gripping me as much. And I think it's like there's been new characters introduced, new things introduced, and like that's just not 100% working the way I was kind of hoping it would. And yeah, something about this one is not, it's not 100% there for me so far. That being said, it's like a 500-page book, so we still have a ways to go. So we can see like there things might really involve in this one, but who knows. And then I started on Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. So I, as usual, let's just say, going chaotically reading through these books. Did I touch the other 2 that I have ongoing yet? No. Am I just picking up random books and randomly starting them? Yeah, just kind of really mood reading chaotically this week, it feels like. So yeah, that's not just how it's going. But Enchantra, this is the sequel to Phantasma, which was a crazy popular fantasy romance last year. More paranormal romance, I would say, than fantasy romance, but still like within the same kind of vein there. And this one, it's more of like, I would say, a companion novel as opposed to like a direct sequel. So we're following in the same world, but we're following the sister of the main character in the first book, and similar ideas of she's entering this magical house that's full of competitions. There's a competition hosted by a devil, and she's basically has to survive this competition or she'll die, which was a very similar thing to what happened in Phantasma. But that one was more of a competition. Like there's a certain number of levels based on the levels of hell, and if you become the winner to this game, you end up like you can request a certain prize from Phantasma or the leader of it. This one, we are following our main character as she goes into, well, she's trying to find information about her deceased mother and more about their family, because they are a family of magic users where her mother is a necromancer, and in this world that power only passes over to the firstborn child. She's secondborn, but she has inherited a certain type of magic from her father, and she comes across this picture of her mother with a man and is able to find out who he is. Not her father, but she's able to find out the information about this man and tracks him down in Italy and decides that she's going to go find him and visit him to get some more information about her mother, about her life. Maybe like, she kind of assumes he might be a necromancer too, like just trying to find out more information. And then she gets there on like she was told a very specific date to get there. She gets there later than that and is turned away from the door, but she has this magic that it seems like she can walk through doors. So she does that, enters the manor, and then is told that because she's entered the manor on this very specific day, she is now entered into this magical competition that this family is cursed to compete in, because their family, the father is in service of a demon or a devil. I don't know what the difference is, but he's in service of this demon, and the mother of this family has been dying for a while now. There's only one cure for it, and this demon has basically negotiated that they will be able to get this cure for the sickness, but every year the family has to compete in this like huge spectacle competition. And in it, I think it's all of the seven children or so. They are forced to compete in this game every year where basically, I mean, like they're kind of fighting to the death. Like there's all these different games that they compete in, and it seems like they're just hunting each other down. Whoever wins, whoever lives is the winner, and there's certain things that come along with that. But the family, because they are immortal, they come back to life after it, but they're basically cursed to keep doing this year after year. And now that our main character has entered the house, she is forced to compete in this as well. And there's only one way that she'll be out. So because she entered the house, she has to compete no matter what. But there's also this caveat that only family members can compete. So they have her marry one of the sons so that she can compete as his wife, and now is forced into this competition. That felt like a very like complicated explanation, but basically just main characters forced into this magical competition where all of these siblings who have magical powers are hunting each other down. So far it's fun. I did really enjoy Phantasma. It wasn't, I would say, like I didn't find it as good as everyone else said, but I'm still like really enjoying this one. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I did read 514 pages yesterday. We're caught up. We have 300 to do today. Not sure exactly where I want to start. If I want to finish a book, if I want to focus on one of these, if I want to go back to like The Dark Forest or Deadly Dreams, probably should, but we'll see where I'm feeling. I was about to head to bed, but then I figured I probably should actually update something, maybe. But yeah, finished my 300 pages today. Once again, actually went over, but hello, like good job for us. And today we finished, what was the name of it? Like, not The Gilded Cage, The Blood Trader. We finished that one. And like, I'm really happy, really happy that I finished that one. That always feels fantastic. We have another book done. We finished 2 books in this video, I think. 2 books. Good job for us. But this one majorly fell off for me. I think the first 2 books had such an interesting premise, and then this one just something about it just like completely fell off and lost my interest, unfortunately. And it was just like all these characters are on this like random little side quest. There's this whole new thing that's introduced, so many new characters that were introduced in the 3rd book, and just a lot of things that I personally don't feel like really were necessary. Like, I don't know, like in the 3rd book, sometimes you expect more of things to be wrapped up, and it did not feel that way. It felt like it was just introducing a whole new plot. But yeah, we finished that one. We read, I think it ended up being like 347 pages. So we're done that one, finished another book, and ready to pop into tomorrow and keep going. So I feel like this video has been low-key a mess, and I've really like been considering scrapping it. You know what, we're halfway filmed. Let's just keep going. So primary goal today, we're gonna finish Enchantra. When I started off today, had 115 pages. No, I was 115 pages in, and I haven't counted, but I've read like 200 and something so far. So like we're a pretty good chunk of the way into it, and 100% we're gonna finish it. And there's 400 and something pages, so my math is that when I'll finish it, I'll have read like 315, 320, something like that for today. So we're gonna be like spot on. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. My only thing is like everyone raves about like how insanely good Phantasma was, and this one, I'm seeing so many like amazing reviews, and like I think it's good. I just don't think it's as good as people say. Like I think there's definitely something missing in my mind with this one, where it's like I'm just not as invested as every other person I see is, and I don't know what it is, but I'm still having a great time. There's this game, I think I already described the plot of this one, sorry if I didn't, but it's really fun seeing this game that's happening and this magical competition and like all this in-plotting between all these siblings. So yeah, I'm just having like a really great time. I'm really enjoying this. The magical competition, super fun. Our main character, like her relationship with her now husband, very fun, and just overall really enjoying it. So I have like, I don't know, just under 100 pages, more than 100, I don't know. Math is not my friend. Never thought I'd say that. I love math. The math is not my friend today, but I am going to finish that later on today, and then I'll come back and just let you guys know when. But we're doing great today. Our progress is going fantastic. So last night, as expected, finished Enchantra. Decided to give this one 4 stars, where I do think it was really enjoyable. And again, like same thing of like, if you enjoyed Phantasma, I think that you're really going to go into this one and have a pretty good time. It like technically, I mean, like actually one thing I really appreciated is that the story was very different. It still had this whole like magical house thing, different competition, and like people competing to, in theory, it seemed kind of like make a deal with the devil, but it did have a very different spin on it from what was going on in Phantasma, and I did really appreciate that, because when I like kind of heard that there would be a sequel, I had this feeling that it would kind of end up being just like a rehash of the first, because there are so many interesting things happening. There's like all these magical game aspects and like all these different things that really felt like I don't know, like it was something that could be just replicated and kind of just copy paste and, you know, throw out a quick sequel. But I'm really glad that this one ended up actually being interesting and actually having like a fair amount of things going on with it, because yeah, that makes it so much easier obviously and so much more interesting to read about. So really happy with that. Again, like I'm not 100% invested in these books, so they're not quite a 5-star, but I still find them really enjoyable. So overall, like great with that. And I did end up going over my 300 pages. I don't know if I actually did the math at all, but I know for sure it was over 300 pages. And then today I've started the morning by continuing on in Deadly Dreams, and let me do a quick calculation. So I started on page 31. I'm now on page 138, just starting off chapter 8. So I did 107 pages and enjoying this one. I feel like so far, though I have to say, and this is one thing that I've had a bit of an issue with in all these books, is that I felt like the first half of every one of them ended up being like very exposition heavy and very just much setting up the story. So in a lot of these, we don't really get to the actual like meat and bones and main plot of the story until about halfway through. So far we're just kind of doing a quick catch up on where the characters have been since the last book, kind of like how some of the certain things that have happened have affected them, and then just like them living a day-to-day life. And we're kind of getting a bit of hints of like there's the wild hunt, because a lot of this is very like there's a very heavy emphasis on fae in these books and different fae, but the wild hunt has kind of appeared, and our main character Fortuna is trying to see what their motivations are and if she's potentially in danger. And Dracula just popped up randomly because she's friends with the vampire, and turns out that his sire is Dracula. So all of these really big people are now popping up around her, and she's trying to figure out if it's because she's the queen and if they're all trying to just like come in and really see what's happening, because in one of the previous books she went through all these trials to prove herself as queen of the Unseelie, and it seems like maybe now that this happened, all of these rumors are going about her power and people want to come in and see. So I'm enjoying it. There was a lot of really crazy shit that happened at the back end of the second one, so we are very much like dealing with that right now too, and really dealing with all the repercussions. So, you know, still having fun, and that means we have about 193 pages to go, which is not too bad for today. So probably still be focusing on this. I would really like to make a little bit more progress in this one. Also, it's like coming back due soon at the library, very soon. So I'd like to make a little bit more progress in this one as well, and like maybe just alternate between these two. Hi, so I worked out and showered. It's the same day still, but I've hit my pages and we're just gonna quickly go over it. So read another 60-ish pages of this, still enjoying it, still having like a decent time. I feel like now the plot is finally starting to pick up. So it did take about 40-ish% of that to actually like have something start to go, unfortunately. So, you know, there's that. And then my biggest thing I've been reading, decided to start continuing on the Dark Forest. So where I was last was 160-ish pages in. I'm now in 320, so I read like another 160 pages, and really having a great time. So in this one, there's the threat of an alien invasion, and the aliens have decided that they want to come in and conquer Earth. And they have these things, these particles, that are able to basically observe anything going on Earth and be able to basically know every single defense that Earth is putting into place, and then of course find a way to counteract it. So the world has created this program called the Wall Facers, where basically there's 4 people who are given like basically unmatched power, basically full power to do whatever they want. But the intent is for them to 100% come up with an idea in their brain and just like not reveal the truth of this, and basically just come up with this idea, execute it, and, you know, not let it be clear what that is. And all of them have created like multiple fake ideas, all these different things. And then there's also like a group of people who are supporting the aliens, who are working to try and and figure out what their ideas are and break them. So we're following a few main characters who are part of these wall breakers and are dealing basically with trying to come up with ideas and things so that they could potentially take down the aliens. And we just did a crazy time jump of like 200 years where some of our main characters, they basically went into hibernation and they're woken up 200 years later to an entirely new Earth. And that part is super interesting. Like just this really, really interesting idea of what a future could be. And in particular, what a future could be when faced with this threat of annihilation from aliens, but also a lot of the regular things that are happening, such as climate crises and wars and everything. And part of it, so the Dark Forest, is that all of these like underground cities have been created. And it kind of, I think the Dark Forest comes from, like, there are these huge cavernous like rooms that are like 1,000 feet deep. And the way that I'm understanding it is that there are these really, really long pillars that are called trees. And those are like the main buildings. And there's branches off of them that are buildings and houses and all these things. But these huge pillars, the main tree, and like the way I think the city is made up is basically considered a forest. Not entirely sure right now, but it's like this is weird, different way that Earth is trying to basically survive the alien invasion, because they're like, if they come and they bomb us, we'll be underground. So we should, in theory, be safe. Really interesting. Really, really excited to continue on in it, because I'm over halfway through now and just really, really having a great time. I think also the second season of the show is coming soon, and again, super, super excited for that. So with that, I'm going to be finishing off the video here. I do technically have like one other day that I could be doing for this, but yeah, we're finishing this off here. So overall, this was a fairly good success. I did manage pretty much to read the 300 pages a day. Just my only issue was I was not very great at vlogging them. So other than that, this went well. And yeah, we'll be ending here. So if you haven't already, I would love if you would consider subscribing, and maybe I will see you in a video very soon. So thanks for watching, and yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already.